Yeah, so the way that I kind of approach games is I try to think about what the player is doing in larger and larger time scales. And so it starts in the second to second experience of what the player is doing. So if you take Mario, it's what does the player feel like moving and kind of doing that basic movement in the game. How does jumping feel? Once you kind of get that feeling good and being like, okay, well, this is an enjoyable kind of a second to second experience. What am I doing minute to minute? And then you kind of build on, okay, well, how does the world react to that? What's the visual representation of that? What are simple objectives? Jumping on enemies, collecting coins, what have you. And then you're like, okay, well, that's fun too. So you can have a sandbox, and that could be really great, and that could be a shipped game and be fantastic. But you can expand it out even further, and it's like, okay, so now I got second to second, and tens of seconds to tens of seconds. What does a couple minutes look like in the game? And you can build out a whole level with that and get an experience down. So in mobile, most of the time we're working with like 10-minute session loops, and so you can kind of focus on the second-to-second experience of what you're doing, and how does that feed into a a level. And probably a level is about in our game it's between 60 to 90 seconds, and so you can kind of feel out, okay, what is the player experience for that 60 to 90 seconds, and then it's how does that feed into the metagame loop, and that loop might be a full 2 minutes. And then how many of those loops does a player get in a single session? And are there any other metagame loops that the player tackles within that period of time? And then you can build that out even further, and it's like, okay, well, that's day one. What does it look like a week down the road? What does the player experience look like a month down the road, a year down the road? And so you just kind of layer on more and more systems as necessary for the game.